All right, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and everybody else. Welcome back to another commentary video where I discuss my ideas on certain topics I have about society and the dark dimension and life in general. So today we kind of have a little bit of a twofer idea, a little double idea here, double jeopardy. So the first idea is just kind of has to do with recent stuff in society, how stuff is for my generation. Both things are going to be about my generation, but one of them is how stuff is very recently, and the other idea is how society is for us in general when compared to the older generation, because there's a lot of disconnectedness between the two. So, where did this idea come from? This double idea. This idea came from the general talk around the town that I've been hearing about the 4-day work week. I believe I've made another video like this, but I don't remember. But I'm too lazy to look it up because it's Sunday and I'm sad. But regardless, I've been hearing talks from just people in general on TikTok, on Twitter, on social media that we should have a 4-day work week. Stuff is shitty enough in society where, we're working for basically no wages because inflation is eating everything and wages aren't increasing and stuff is just generally going even more bad, and we have a lot of stresses, like a lot of future stuff happening with the bank system possibly collapsing, our economy collapsing, war happening, World War III possibly happening, Russia and China and India making their own currency and combining to dethrone the US. A lot of stuff is happening in society to where a lot of things are going bad for a lot of people if you're not the ultra wealthy and ultra rich. So at this point in time, because stuff is so bad, this is what I feel like society has become. And it's been like this for a long time. It's just very apparent now. And the idea is that society, for my generation, is like a carrot on a stick. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that they're going to make it, the rich people, the ultra wealthy, the rich and ultra wealthy are going to make it at least good enough to where we're not going to riot, we're not going to take their heads, but not good enough to where we can actually enjoy our lives as long as they're still enjoying theirs. What I've noticed is that these people at the top, and just the people that control society in general, our government, which I believe is not for the people anymore, they're going to make it so bad because they do not care about us and they just care about profits and making themselves better, and their greed knows no bounds as long as we are still complacent, we are still satisfied. So what do I mean by this? I mean that they're going to give us some sort of boon. They're not going to make it terrible. They're just going to make it bad enough, or they're going to have it be good enough to where we won't complain. Now, why did I think about this with the 4-day work week? Because now there's people in our government that are championing the 4-day work week. Now, who specifically? At first, at the time I'm making this, it's California Congressman Mark Takano. So he's reintroduced the bill. So realistically speaking, this bill has been introduced before, but he's reintroduced the bill that will make the 4-day work week a federal mandate. So for everyone across the US. So this is what he says about it. It's something that would bring about a significant change, which will increase the happiness of humankind. Now, increasing the happiness of humankind, while it sounds nice, I don't really think with the way society really is that the rich really care about that. They only care about themselves, and if increasing the happiness of humankind makes them more wealthy. I really think that's the only thing. Now, why is the reason they're introducing this now? It's purely because things are getting so bad, they have to give us something so we don't start taking their heads, right? Because there's way more homeless people, there's way more wealth inequality, and from what I hear, it's only going to get worse with the Fed raising the interest rate even more. So things are actively going to get worse. They're not going to get better. And they're at a point now where they're so bad, people are going to complain. So this is where they're giving us the carrot and the stick. They're giving us a band-aid. They're saying, okay, things are really bad. Okay, we're going to improve the happiness of humankind by giving you guys, or at least trying, to give you guys the 4-day work week. Now, me being the cynic that I am and looking at reality, I think maybe one day we'll have the 4-day work week, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. With the way our government works and how they can't agree on anything except getting rid of daylight savings time after this year, I think pretty much this is a pipe dream, and this is just, they're just talking about it again to settle us over, to put the carrot on the stick in front of our head. They're not solving the actual problem. they're just calming us down so we don't cause more problems for them. I honestly think that's what it is. So, this goes into the second idea. That's how society is for us in general right now. The dark dimension is really bad and it's getting worse, and there seems to be no way out, and these people don't care about us, and it's impossible to live if you're a part of my generation without a really good job, which the majority of us don't have good jobs. So this is kind of what I thought, just walking to work in the morning, taking the train. I take the MTA every morning, which is the greatest train system in the world in New York City. It's lovely, it's clean, it's amazing, it's always on time, never gets delayed. But anyway, I kind of thought of this idea in the MTA, right? I see all these workers that work at the MTA. There are these old people working there, right? And obviously, if you're older and you're working, you have seniority there, you've been there for a little bit, you get raises, you're probably making a lot of money. Now, what else does this mean if you're an old worker at the MTA? You probably are not that good with technology or not good with the newer systems. So what does this mean for my generation? I'll compare an old worker of the MTA to a new worker of the MTA. The old worker is probably doing something that's fairly simple that they've been doing for years that they don't really have to change, and they're getting paid a lot for it. Now, I'll put this preface here of maybe this isn't how it works in reality, but it has to be close to what I'm saying here, at least in my mind. You can tell me in the comment section below if you think I'm right or wrong here, but the old worker at the MTA works on something that he's been doing for years that hasn't really changed, that, you know, the people at the MTA know they can't really make him do something new because he won't understand it, he's old, right? Then here comes the new person, the new worker of my generation in the MTA, that not only has to pick up the slack for all the old workers that can't use the new technology or the new systems in place, they have to pick up all that work, but they also are not going to get paid as well as the old people. So the old people, in my mind, are actively doing jobs that aren't really up to date. They're kind of doing old things they know how to do that isn't really too complicated for them. Versus the new people have to come in, change the systems, learn the new systems, or do things the old people can't do. And they're doing it for significantly less money because they don't have seniority. Now, granted, this isn't always the case, and sometimes the compensation is pretty high for new things, but in general, this is how I think it works, not only in the MTA, but also just everywhere. The new people, because we actually can understand technology, the biggest eye-opener for me was there's this guy on TikTok that is a congressman, and he makes a TikTok, and he's fairly young. He's obviously older than me. He's probably in his 30s or 40s, because that's how old you need to be in our government. But he's fairly young, and he has a TikTok, and he shows us what it's like. And he told us during his debriefing becoming a congressperson, once he was sworn in, they had to ask him, do you need help turning on a laptop? I've mentioned this before in another video, but I'll mention it again. The fact that that is the level of intelligence with technology of the people running our country, making the rules, is really scary. So I can only imagine that's how it is. If that's how it is in our government, imagine how it is in every other job. So I'm just taking the MTA because that's the main thing that made me think about it, walking to work in the morning, taking the train. But I feel like it's like this in any industry. The old people aren't going to be as good with technology, aren't going to be doing as much, and are going to get paid a lot more because they've been there forever versus the new people who come in. So again, this is just kind of like, what does my generation do? I honestly do feel like it's just a carrot on a stick situation. Things have just been so unlucky for us. We're kind of just in the unlucky time where we have to grind really hard, and things are just really shitty, and things are better for the people before us. And the sad part is, I can't even blame them for, like, saying what they say. There's a lot of disconnect between the older generation and my generation, or the younger one, we'll say, because I count my generation as young people, even, you know, younger than me, or at least a little slightly older than me. The big thing is, oh, you guys think you have it easy, you guys are complaining this, and that. These older people won't know the struggle because they're not living through it. It's not the same for them as it is for us, because again, they've been in these jobs for how long, getting paid how much because of all the raises they've gotten over the years. Times are just different. So it's kind of a thing where I understand why they're complaining. I don't think it's valid, but I can understand. But anyway, before I get too off topic on this video, basically, it really just all feels like a carrot on a stick situation. Not only for my generation, but for all the generations, for the majority of people that are not rich, it's just getting worse. And this little 4-day work week ploy of them discussing it, not even putting it into practice, them just discussing it, seems like they're saying it now strategically to calm us down so we don't riot, because that's kind of where I see things going, because things are not getting better, they're only getting worse. And the worst part of this all is the 4-day work week, from all the studies that have been done, from all the testing that has been done, has massively, overwhelmingly shown that it is good. It doesn't lower productivity. It actually just really does increase general humankind happiness, and there's very little, if no detriment at all, to the businesses. But will they do something that makes sense? No. Will they do it anytime soon? Probably not, because people are very much stuck in their ways. But anyway, that was just kind of a little rant I wanted to get out there. It's Sunday, so I'm trying to get my mind off the following work week, and I wanted to make a video since it's been a while. But I hope everyone enjoyed. If you have any comments, please tell me in the comments below. And I stream every single day, or at least I try to, at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel. Come over there, come hang out with me, come be sad together. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed.